Hi, welcome. I'm Lisa Berkey, and welcome to the session 56 Million Jobs, Time to Focus on Business and Marketing Education. I work with MBA Research and Curriculum Center, a not-for-profit consortium of state departments of education. We work primarily with high schools to provide curriculum, instruction, assessment, and serve their needs with their business and marketing students. This chart on the screen shows our process, which is a little bit unusual. We start with the business community by doing primary and secondary research to find out what they need in their future employees, what knowledge and skills your students need to have to succeed in the workforce, in other words. And then from that, we develop standards, curriculum, instructional tools, assessments, professional development, all of which feeds back into the workforce. So today we're going to be talking about workforce needs for the future and a program that we can help your schools with to prepare students for those future jobs. So we'll start out with the why focus on business and marketing programs, and get into some data so that I can show you where that 56 million comes from. Then we'll talk about our response to that need, followed by how that response can save your school's time and money, how to get started. And all along the way, I'm going to be peppering in tips for going your own route. So I'm going to be sharing with you a program that we've developed, and we think it's a great one, and it's going to save you time and money to use it. But if it doesn't quite fit your school's needs, then along the way, just hearing about our program, learning from our experiences is going to help you to put together the best possible program for your students. When we take a look at the U.S. labor statistics projected into 2029, here are the occupations, and you can see that business careers are often the largest group. 33%, in fact, of jobs in 2029 are going to be in the business-related occupations, and that includes business and financial operations, management, sales and related, and office and administrative support. So let's dig a little deeper into those numbers. If we take a look at growth between 2019 and 2029, what you see here is I've just added in some other occupations in addition to business to give you a taste for where things are growing, where things are going, and show you some statistics about those. Of course, we know that healthcare is growing really quickly in this country. And so it's no surprise that the percentage change is the highest for healthcare. We also have some STEM occupations that I have added in for reference as well. And we see that business is growing modestly, business and financial management is growing modestly, but sales and office administrative support are actually shrinking a bit. So let's continue to look deeper at those numbers. Here's what it means in terms of jobs gained or jobs lost between 19 and 2029. So you can see there 1.5 million additional healthcare jobs, and you can go on down the list to see what the actual numbers are. Those numbers are going to be really important. So you're going to see here that we're going to actually be declining by 303,000 jobs in the sales and related occupations, and almost 1 million jobs in office and administrative support. So you're probably wondering right now, why is she sharing this information about business programs? It looks like the business careers are shrinking. And that's what I want you to be aware of. It is that these numbers, if you're looking just at employment change over the next 10 years, that's what the numbers are going to show percentage-wise. But I think it's really important to also take a look at total jobs. And that's what this chart does. So we're looking here at total projected jobs in 2029. And you can see here that the numbers have have flip-flopped a little bit. Even though office administrative support jobs are in decline and sales are also in a little bit of a decline, we see them top out here on this chart for the most jobs available to your students in 2029. And that if you take a look at all four of those jobs added up, that gets us back to 55.5 million jobs of the total 168 million projected in 2029. So that's a healthy 33%. And you can see it when I added all the STEM occupations together, just for reference, those fields are growing, as you saw, but still comprise you know, a little more than half of the number that the business jobs make up. So sometimes when we talk about business and marketing jobs, we want to make sure that people are thinking about these being livable wages. And so this information shares the 12 fastest growing occupations. And you can see that all of those that are starred earn 50,000 or more a year and are in the business sector. So you can see that not only are there a lot of jobs coming students' way in 2029, but they are livable wages as well. Another way of looking at information is to take a look at demand for college grads by major. So as more and more students go to post-secondary, either 2-year or 4-year post-secondary institutions, it becomes even more important at the high school level to understand what are those students doing after college, and how can we become part of that pipeline that is getting them all the way to their career. And this Career Builder survey found that hiring managers across the US often look for business majors. In fact, it was the most often sought after degree by hiring managers, 35%. So those are all nice numbers and statistics, but we're really talking here about students. So I wanted to just take that data and drill down a little bit more to students like her, students that are at your school. So these stick figures represent your students at your school, and I have 100 students put here on this chart. And 33% of them make up all of those that are within the red block. So if you think about the jobs data that we just took a look at, 33% of your students at your school right now are going to end up in jobs in that field. Those are their career goals. And so it's really the largest group in your school for most schools across the country. So if you want to serve the most students in your school and help them prepare for successful careers, then business and marketing programs at your school are the way to do so. Something that those numbers that we've looked at so far don't really touch on is the fact that every industry needs business professionals. And so when you think about nonprofit organizations like the one where I work, you know, that would not be counted in that 33%, but we absolutely have business majors working there. Same for schools, where you have people running your office, the treasurer, etc., who would be business professionals. STEM and other aviation and science jobs, all of those types of companies, of course, need smart, ethical business people to make them successful. And that's how we got to 56 million jobs. And I put that plus in there just to emphasize what I just said. Every industry, every company, every not-for-profit, every organization, every school needs smart, ethical business leaders. So our response to that is to build a program that is meant to prepare students for the jobs of the future. It's called High School of Business, and it has been available for about 10 years now, and we have some great results. But before I get into those, I wanted to let you take a look inside one of the participating schools that's offering High School of Business, so you can hear from students and teachers who are using the program.
It really provided that pathway of kids who knew they wanted to own their own business or they knew they wanted to be an entrepreneur. It gives them a place to go where they can see their way to college.
High School of Business is a program of MBA Research and Curriculum Center. It prepares students for business careers and college. The program is highly immersive and interactive. It introduces students to business skills and concepts that they'll use in college and their careers beyond.
Everything is business, and so for me I felt like it was a very fundamental part, or should be a fundamental part, of everybody's education.
I had the luck of having an older sibling who went through the program, and he had nothing but great things to say about it, and he strongly encouraged me to try it out my freshman year. I've loved all of the professionalism skills I've learned and all of the great opportunities we've had to develop those skills, to network with other people, and participate in a lot of great events.
High School of Business consists of 6 courses: Principles of Business, Economics, Marketing, Finance, Management, and Business Strategies. These courses provide a solid foundation in business administration, similar to a college business administration program.
High School Business is phenomenal curriculum that is written by people that care about students. MBA Research is constantly staying up to date with trends and curriculum and content and resources that are relevant to today.
The program heavily uses project-based learning. That means that students are working in teams. They're working on real-world projects. They're getting a taste of what it's like to be a business professional. For the students, it's a more realistic and a more fun approach to learning business and marketing. For teachers, it's a chance to help students work creatively and independently.
I think they get a really broad base of knowledge in what business actually looks like, what it means to operate a business, what it means to be a good employee, a good leader. Go see a school, go see it in action, and you'll be hooked.
High School of Business offers college credit options that put students a step ahead of their peers when they transition from high school to college. By the time they get to college, they hit the ground running with skills they've acquired and the credits they've already earned.
For us, I really think the High School of Business saved our business program.
I would say one of the greatest moments was the day I was teaching wealth management, and a kid who hasn't always been all that dialed in and excited about the class, he got really excited and raised his hand. I got it, I got it. And I said, what's going on? And he said, this is the class we're really going to use in life. And I said, yes, this is it.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of those results that the teachers were talking about in the video. On average, students who complete High School of Business are earning 9.5 college credits by the time they complete the program. And this credit is awarded in a couple of different ways. We have 7 national articulated credit partnerships that any High School of Business student can take advantage of. In addition to that, almost every school that participates works with their local 2- and 4-year post-secondaries to put into place college credit agreements as well. Because the program was designed with that in mind, it is relatively simple for each school to work with their local partners and find matches between what's being offered at colleges and what is being taught in the High School of Business program. Because those learning outcomes go up into grades 13 and 14 and are often have college credit tied to them, it makes it simpler for the high school of business courses to be honors or weighted GPA. So if your school uses either one of those systems, I would highly recommend that you put the courses before your committee to determine if they meet the goals that your school has set in place. As students graduate from high school, we survey them about their experiences in the program. And we know that they are confident when they leave high school about what is ahead. They're confident about college, and they're also confident about their career. We know too that they've done well in their academic courses. In fact, last year, every student passed in high school of business at every school across the country passed their math and English language arts state benchmarks. And the reason for that, I think one of the reasons, is project-based learning and how that brings into a real-world context communication skills, both written and oral, teamwork, using math for computational reasons to solve a problem. It all translates back into their academic classes. Schools that participate report improved relationships with the business community. This is one of our teachers with his high school of business steering team, as well as some students having a meeting at lunchtime. All of the participating schools set up steering teams, which are similar to advisory councils, that involve administrators and also local business community members. Also, schools report improved relationships with colleges and universities. That comes kind of naturally because of the college credits that schools are meeting with their college partners to put into place, and because of individuals from those institutions often serve on the steering team as well. And teachers report that they have improved their skills and learned a lot as being part of the High School of Business program. So we certainly are proud to show that statistic as well. There's also opportunity to make the program your own. So I wanted to share, this is Prairie View High School in Colorado. And at their school, the students who complete High School of Business successfully get an honor cord, and they also are eligible for an academic letter and a pin each year that they complete High School of Business. So that's what their students are interested in. That's what is motivating for them, and so they can certainly add that into the program. High School of Business is really a complete program, just like the wheel that I showed you at the beginning with MBA research and our system of doing things. Every piece fits together. Every piece is based on what the business community tells us its students need for future workforce success. And so High School of Business can save you a lot of time and a lot of money because we've already done the work for you. And so you would receive, as a High School of Business site, all of the curriculum and instructional resources. And that includes gold standard project-based learning projects. So a conservative estimate is that it takes about 40 hours for a teacher to craft one project-based learning project. There are 25 of them in High School of Business. So right there, we're talking about quite a lot of time savings using projects that have already been successfully vetted by other schools through this program. We also annually update every piece of curriculum in High School of Business, and that is in accordance with what the business community is telling us. So you can be confident that what your students are learning is what they need to know in the current and future business world. Assessments are a piece of the program. Teachers offer quizzes weekly to ensure that as students are working through the projects, they are mastering the content. There are also end of course assessments as well. The MBA Learning Center is a learning management system that comes to teachers at your school loaded already with content. And so teachers and students use that system to access instructional resources that align with the learning outcomes in the projects. So as they're doing the projects, they're learning with the materials in the Learning Center as well. So this past spring, our teachers told us that they felt very prepared for remote learning before school buildings closed because they were already using the Learning Center. Every student has an account as part of the program, and they can access that anywhere. Professional development is also a key part of the program. There are 2-day training sessions for each course that teachers go through before they teach the courses, and then also ongoing webinars and other ways to collaborate with their peers. Also a support system. Our staff, as well as trainers, the trainers for this program are current High School of Business teachers who've been doing it teaching it for several years. So your teachers are in great hands and are supported directly by both our staff and those teachers. And a peer network, you really can't say too much about that. And wow, hasn't that become more apparent this year? This is a national program, and so we put into place systems that make it as easy as possible for teachers to collaborate with us involved, and sometimes without us involved. They make connections as they participate in training and other aspects of the program, and those really become invaluable to them as they deliver the program at the school. There is a fee, of course. As a not-for-profit, we recoup our costs on High School of Business. The first 3 years, you see there's $6,500, and that includes the teacher training for the courses. So as your teachers are going through training and rolling out the program, it's a 3-year, and typically a 3-year rollout process at your school. That would be the approximate cost. And then thereafter, there's the annual fee, and we use that to keep the materials updated for the learning management system licenses, the ongoing PD, the support, and many other benefits that are offered to the High School of Business programs. So if you are interested in getting started with High School of Business, what I would recommend is first to go to our website, and you see the URL right down here. You're going to find information on there, including a handbook that really lays out in detail everything about High School of Business. You're going to want to get familiar with the program, not just you, but a team. I would suggest typically it's the CTE director, a building principal or assistant principal, perhaps a lead teacher, who initially take a look at the program. And certainly our staff can help you along the way. You're going to decide things like how is this rollout going to work over the next few years as the courses roll out to your students, which teachers are going to be involved, how am I going to fund the program. Most schools use Perkins funds. High School of Business is aligned with the tenets of Perkins, and so that's where I would start if I were you with the funding process. There is an application process as well, and you can request an application directly from me. And then build the program. We provide an implementation plan to all new sites to help you get started. You'll be putting together that steering team or advisory council and starting to have meetings with them to organize the program at the school, get the word out to students and parents, and also to the business community, who will be really important part of your program going forward. If you have any questions about High School of Business, here's my contact information, including my, my LinkedIn QR code if you're interested in connecting in that way. But I am very happy to help you at any point to talk about High School of Business. Thanks for attending today.